Hi, and thanks for watching another instructional video for CSCI 1300. In this video, we will cover the use of comparing numbers and strings with the comparison operators. The comparison operators are just like math notation, but in C++ will have slightly different syntax. Notice that the greater than or equal, less than or equal, the equal, and the not equal notations have C++ operations. They're slightly different because of our keyboard. And you can see that we're combining a greater than or less than with an equality sign. We're using two equals for a comparison of equality, and a exclamation point followed by an equal sign for saying that they are not equal. One thing to note is that equality comparison with the two equal signs, saying like if integer a is equal to b. So for instance, if we're trying to see if the value of 5 is in two integers or they have the same value, something like that, that is not the same thing as an assignment. So notice that if you say a equals 5, you're assigning the value to the variable. You're assigning 5 to a. But if you say a double equals 5, you're actually checking to see if the value 5 is actually residing within the variable a. In this example, notice that we're comparing floor to the value 13. At the top, we're saying floor greater than 13, but we could take that greater sign and change it to an equality sign by saying floor is equal to 13. We could say floor not equal to 13, less than or equals, greater than or equals. And we can do this also with strings as well as integers and doubles. So I'm going to show you something here in VS Code to kind of jump right into that. So what we have here is we have two values, x and y, and two strings, a and b. String a contains the word dogs, string b contains the word cats. And what we're going to do here is we're going to uncomment some code for our integer comparisons, and then we'll go through comparing strings afterwards. So the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see here that I've declared an x and a y. I'm going to ask the user of the program to enter a value for x and y. Once I gather some user input, I'm then going to do some comparisons. I'm going to check to see if x is larger than y, if x is less than y, if x is equal to y, or if it is not equal to y. And we'll see what we get to print. So let's go ahead and run the code and take a look at what we can get. So if I were to enter the values of 5 for x and 10 for y, x is going to be smaller than y, so y will be the larger number. So we can see here that y is bigger because x is less than y, and x does not equal y, so this printed as well because x is not the same value as y. If we were to put in the same numbers, for instance 5 and 5, notice that we get x equals y. And the other operations with the if statements are not evaluated because they are not true. Now let's move on to doing string comparisons. And I'm going to show you how this is very similar to integers or doubles. String comparisons can be used with the same operators, comparison operators. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare dogs to cats, or the word dogs to the word cats. And we can see here that a has been set to the value of dogs, and we check here to see if a contains the value of dogs, and we realize that it does, so this prints. So this statement was true. And we can also see that dogs is not the same word as cats because b contained the value of cats. That's all for using the comparison operators. Thanks, and happy coding!